Boom. 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 What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Live Connection podcast. We're somewhere in the 60 range. You know, some mornings I feel like I'm in my 60s, so I feel like we're in a good place with the podcast. Today, I got Erik and I got Jarrod. How's it going, guys? How's your Sunday morning?
You did the opening lyrics of Black Eyed Peas, Boom, Boom, Boom at the beginning boom, there.
Oh, boom, boom? Question mark?
Boom.
Bring it back to early 2010s.
2008.
Fuck.
2008.
Wow. You feel old when?
Might as well just fuck you up right here now.
God, that really does feel bad. I'm not gonna lie. I did not think it was that early.
Because Peter, you're so 3000 and you're so 2008. I'm so 3000 late.
Something
I'm Fergie.
Like boom, boom, pow.
I'm Fergie. Pow, pow, boom.
Are we just creating a cover?
Yeah, that's how we'll make
this
it.
Is no longer our podcast. This is now our cover band.
Jerry,
beautiful.
You were saying that you have a little bit of you're a little upset about that chair in the background. What's going on?
Yes, that black and blue chair right there.
What?
So me thinking, like, you know how there's the secret lab chairs. Everyone like in the gaming world or people who know like ergonomic chairs and stuff, they know that Secret Labs very much so prides themselves on making high quality chairs that are good for good ergonomically for you because they're made for people who do gaming. They're good for people who are at work, sitting at a desk long periods of time. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want one of these chairs because it's nice. The issue is my desk sits really high. So like a normal rolly chair doesn't quite get you high enough without it resting on my ulnar nerve in my arm. So my hands go like tingly. So I have to like stop, shake my hands around and then go back to it. So anyways, I bought that chair because I was like, oh, here's a chair that looks identical to the Secret Lab chairs, but is like a third of the price of a Secret Lab chair. Because the Secret Lab chair, they start at like $499, and then they go up from there based on if you want like these cool designs based on games. Like, ooh, I want a Overwatch themed Secret Labs chair.
I want the Diva chair.
But like, so I was like, oh, I'm smart. I'll take advantage of this. I'll get this chair. This chair was like, I think like $130 for the whole thing. And I, you know, it worked well. I think I bought this chair. I think I bought it probably early this year is when I got it.
I remember you asking about chairs.
Yeah. So I think it was early this year. If I that chair now, if I sit too far back on it, the height adjuster will sink 2 inches. Like automatically, without even like anything, not pressing or not pulling the lever or anything. I'll just like I'll sit at the very edge of it and it'll be fine. And I sit back and it just like down 2 inches. And I was like, oh, maybe the chair's just not made for like maybe because you know certain chairs do have like actual size and weight scales that they have to maintain for people. It's like Bosu balls, like the one I'm sitting on is made for someone who's my size, and then the Bosu ball, there's smaller ones. Anyways, point being, it's like I was like, oh, maybe that's the case. So what I did, I got Chelsea to sit on it, and you guys know Chelsea. She's like half my size, and I even got Bobby to sit on it, and Bobby is literally half my weight, and it's still sunk down on her. So I was like, man, it's just a piece of shit chair that I bought. So this is one of the few times I tried to be cheap and it turned out that it didn't come through for me. So now what I'm going to do is I bought this $20 ball that's like, it's a big ball so my hands sit nice over my table. So I'm going to save up. Eventually, like next year sometime, I'll look at getting a Secret Labs chair because they are good quality chairs. I just tried to cheat my way around it and be like, ooh, I got a cool, nice gaming ergonomic chair. And then fuck no, not a good idea.
With that chair now?
I'm just using it when I play games because it still sits and I can still like lean it back when I play games. I don't need to be sitting a certain height when I play games. It's better than these two fucking IKEA chairs I have. That has a whole different story behind it. That we had 4 of these, and I've broken 2 of them. So now we only have 2 left because they're based on that flex point, right? There's no rear support on them, so if you like look, this just kind of sits back. So it bases on the pliability of the wood, and like what happened the one day, Chelsea and I were sitting in them. We were playing Mario Kart, I think, and it literally just snapped backwards, and I like fell back.
She sabotaged. She wanted to win the race.
And then the other time, what happened to the other one? I think Hawk got on it. This was hilarious. This was when Hawk was a little puppy. He like jumped onto the chair, and it just gave, and he like rolled over the top of it. So I was like, they're okay, but they're not super comfortable. So I'm going to use my old work chair as like my chill and gaming chair, because I don't, until it's fully broken, I'm not going to get rid of it. If it breaks to the point where it sinks all the way down, I'm just going to chuck it. But for now, it's an okay gaming chair. But I have this huge ball now that I sit on again. So it started with a Bosu ball and it ends with a Bosu ball. That's the moral of the story.
That's how life works.
Yeah.
We're born for a Bosu ball and we die in a Bosu ball.
Yes, it is true. It is true. You know what's upsetting? I looked up some gaming news. So I'm like, oh, let's talk about some game stuff today. It's all Pokemon. Every fucking title is Pokemon. Pokemon Sword and Shield. Celebrate it. I'm on GameSpot right now.
Well, just don't be on GameSpot.
From where I went news, I didn't see any Pokemon. I forgot they even talked about the Pokemon stuff.
I did too, honestly.
I'm gonna share this.
For me, it's all about the next gen stuff for the most part. A lot of influencers are getting the next gen console sent to them.
You watching some Mario Kart Live?
Yeah, Galarian Slowking, Pokemon. Oh, this is Minecraft. Pokemon.
Why do you use GameSpot?
My God.
I don't know. I look up gaming news everywhere, and that just happened to be where I was looking at it.
Hi, Jack.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late. I'm really tired.
Just you have a late night, Jack.
Stop that.
I had a late night. I made a bad decision in the past couple of days.
Uh-oh.
I decided I was going to go back and 100% Red Dead 2, finally. I said, it's finally time, and I lost track of time last night, because I was like, oh, fuck it, I've got tomorrow off, and I was going to use today to just, move furniture and stuff like that, so I stayed up till 4 in the morning trying to beat some fucking NPCs at Domino's in Red Dead Redemption.
Okay, I thought it was like Domino's Pizza. That's what we might too. So why did they put Domino's in Red Dead? Was that
really weird crossover event where if you actually go to a real life Domino's wearing a cowboy hat and beat the shit out of 2 people, you get a special in-game item.
Nice.
No, so yeah, it's funny how that game has all these amazing moments of like tension and such a incredible story and so much action, and then there are some moments where you're sitting for 2 hours at a train station playing dominoes because you have to win 3 consecutive games for this fucking challenge, and I didn't do it. I stayed up till 4 in the morning. I got close like 3 times.
Oh, that's one of those frustrating challenges that it's just RNG, it's bull, it's just frustrating all through it.
The one before that was even worse. You had to win 3 hands of blackjack, hitting 3 or more times. So you had to have 5 cards in a hand of blackjack. That's literally just RNG.
Yeah, that puts it really hard on.
That's how I felt about playing Mahjong in Yakuza.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's why I didn't complete the game. You actually have to do research on that. I don't know how to play Mahjong still. That shit doesn't make sense.
Tyler's family taught me how to play Mahjong a couple months ago, and I've completely forgot. It's not an easy game.
No. There's a lot to it.
It's an easy game, but like it just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, from like a Western perspective.
Yeah.
If you don't like have any familiarity with any of the symbols, I guess, or just any of the game stuff, I guess it's just like, what's going on?
Yeah, the developers of Minecraft.
Yep, that's them.
Oh God.
Speaking of Minecraft, did you guys hear about the new update that's coming?
To Super Smash Bros?
No. I don't want to talk about
Minecraft Steve's
I don't
coming
want
to
to
Super
talk about
Smash Bros?
Steve. I don't want to talk about
He's gonna
Steve.
completely change. He's gonna completely change the meta because he can put down blocks.
I can't wait till Graydon uses another bullshit character whenever we play Smash as a group.
He can like I don't know if Peter asked a legit question. He can legit build structures. I don't know, like
put down like take that, Samus.
Everyone was saying that like during the direct or whatever, Sakurai was Nintendo came to Sakurai and they're like, "Hey, we want to put you Minecraft Steven," and he was like, "Yeah, the logistics of that are really difficult. They're like I'd have to completely change the game structure and like a lot of the code," and Nintendo's like,
look at how much money's on this contract.
And Sakurai was like, "Yeah, okay, I'll do it. Fine."
I thought he had more control over it than that. I thought that, like, with the characters, he was supposed to. I think
he has a lot, but to an extent, I think he has to at least make some compromises. Because I mean, it's Minecraft Steve too, one of the biggest video game icons in gaming at this point.
I wasn't surprised to see it, but I still think there could have been better characters. But
I wanted Dixie Kong. I think that would have been cool.
I think another Fire Emblem character would have been a really good choice.
Oh, that'd be cool, Peter.
Like, why have 5 when you can have 6 of them?
Yeah.
But with the Minecraft update, I kind of only glanced at it. But one thing that really stood out to me is they're changing how caves are generated. And it's actually leading to some really cool caves. Like, enough that I was actually impressed. I'd recommend giving it a Google.
I'm just looking at it right now. It's like generation. They're incorporating an archaeology system into it. What does that entail? Includes
they're adding culture to Minecraft.
They can find artifacts and buried ruins. There's even new ways to mining where you use a brush item to carefully dig out the artifact. I wonder if they're going to incorporate that and be like, oh, if you use this brush item, it's not as durable, but if you use it on special gems, you get like double the gems from it or something like that. I'm kind of looking at this. It's interesting. New mobs, Cliffs update. The list of features, Cliffs in Minecraft is much smaller. Cheeky mountain goats.
Here, I'm gonna
snow crabs. Apparently, there's gonna be like massive mountains. That's what they're saying here.
I might jump in on my Switch again, do a solo world.
Come on, I shared my screen. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So it's like a lot more caverns and stuff. It's like
these wing gliders have been in for a while, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, that's it, I guess. I thought
look at
that. Had more. No, we're not talking about goats. We're talking about caves.
Peter, but the goats, look at them.
No. How do I stop sharing my screen? Get the goats out of there. Okay. Goats are aggressive. They'll hit you. Hit you off edges.
Blocker.
They will not.
The goats in Breath of the Wild can be dicks sometimes. You'll just be running by and they'll head bonk you. It's mean.
I'll tell you guys about that experience we had when we were. It was like one of our first times climbing outdoors, and we had an experience with a mountain goat.
No,
did I ever mention? Okay, it's not a long story. It's not even super exciting, but it's kind of funny. I think it was our first time climbing, and I was lead climbing. We were out near in the Kananaskis area, not too far into the mountains. And I was climbing up, and then all of a sudden, right beside me, this is the most talk about destroying my pride. I'm climbing. This wall's pretty, it's flat. It's got a couple little ledges. And then here comes this fucking mountain goat, and he's just hopping over right beside me all the way up. And I'm struggling to climb this thing, and this goat is on his little hooves, and he's just ripping through this climb.
It's what he's built for, Jarrod.
Fuck, I was just
compare yourself to him.
Yeah, you're trying to
unrealistic male standards.
Say, Jared, I wish I was a goat. Goats are such assholes for doing this to me.
Oh man. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it looks like it'll be a good one. I don't mind playing Minecraft. Like because we stopped our world, right? Like we got rid of the Minecraft world and all that kind of stuff. Which unfortunately we lost quite a few people following us, but at the same time, it's not a big deal because those aren't necessarily people we didn't want to just be a Minecraft channel. But I do like playing it occasionally just on my own and stuff like that. I didn't even mind playing with you guys. I just didn't like having to moderate a Minecraft
Glad
world.
we make the list.
I minded playing with you guys. I fucking hated that shit. Yeah, I mean, Minecraft's just not really my game, but I mean, it's cool to see that they're still doing stuff with it, adding updates that people enjoy. I think it matters more for console players just because PC players, if you've been playing Minecraft for this long, you've been downloading all the game-changing mods anyways. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So, yep. Does it even still have like a large PC community? I guess it probably does, right?
I think so.
I'd almost say its PC community has to be majority of its community, right? At this point,
I think it's still like the biggest game in the world, if not Fortnite or something. So it's out of our periphery.
But is Fall Guys the new Fortnite?
Wow.
I saw some like graph stat things, like bar graphs, whatever the hell you want to call them. Not bar graphs, the things where it's like
just charts,
line
graphs. Yeah.
And it was like the popularity of Fall Guys, and it was like going right up. And then Among Us came up, and then Fall Guys just went the exact second that Among Us came in, and it was like, wow, that just shows you. Like,
what did I say? I think the first time that Evan and Matt even suggested Fall Guys, I was like, it's gonna be a fad. It's gonna be here for like a couple, like, because the game, like, I played a little bit of it, right? Because I had a gift card that I found, and I was like, I'm not gonna spend this on whatever. Like, I didn't have anything I had on mine, so I just was like, fuck it. It's not really my money, so whatever. So I bought it. It was fun for 2 rounds, and then I was like, it had nothing new. So it's just, But I agree with what Erik says.
Got the new season coming out as well, so
they have a good social media game. I will give them that.
They just need more to the game because it's like you have, I think, 9-ish game modes that you go and compete in, and then they don't have anything new after that. Like, and I don't know. I played it. Like, I'd say for in total probably 7 rounds of it, 7 games trying to make it to the end. It's not a hard game, I don't find, to do. I'm not a platformer. Like, you guys have seen me play platformers. I'm not the best platformer in the world. And that's more or less what that game turns into be, as a platformer. And I made it almost to the end every single time. And I'm like, to me, it's all 100%, like, most of those game modes are all luck. Like, it's not even a matter of skill. There's a few of them that are skill based, but the rest of them to me are just, I don't know. It didn't appeal to me enough as most other, like, you need to have that draw, that constant reason to come back, and they just didn't have that. They had like the initial draw, but then you lose it after that.
I think it's kind of supposed to be more of a party game you play with your friends too.
I was about to say, I think that a lot of it comes from, and it's very easy to play. There's like, 2-3 buttons, and that's it.
You literally have your directional arrows, and then your jump.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is it.
It's cheap, and it was big and you can easily play with your favorite streamers. I think those 3 things were were what really made it explode. Those big,
honestly, if you want a game to be big, you make it for streamers. It's going to be big, at least for a little bit. Right? Like, if you make it for the streaming community, where it's like, okay, big streamers, you can play this with all your fans, they're going to do it because it's good for them, but then you're just going to revel in that.
See, I think Fall Guys actually started going down because we didn't end up playing it, and so then the internet was like, oh, live connection doesn't
well, the issue is they came out when we were going through our restructure, So we didn't even have the chance to play it. So it was their fault. Like, they should have asked us.
Yeah,
when our restructure was happening.
They should have offered us like a small loan of $1 million.
Probably.
Even make us consider playing their indie game.
I might have opened their email in that case. If the subject was $1 million incoming.
Oh, man.
Well,
that's all we get is tell us emails.
Good emails.
Fuck. Oh, it's so bad. But
What?
What?
Jarrod? What, Jarrod? Speak your mind.
I was just looking at a thing. I want you guys to guess how many gigabytes of a solid state drive do you think Call of Duty, whatever, what's the most recent one?
Over 250.
Modern Warfare. You're looking at the fucking thing, aren't you? Piece of shit.
Well, I gotta say, Ronald Reagan's forehead's got to be at least 20 gigabytes.
A lot of RAM.
It does not fit on a 250 gigabyte SSD drive. Like, what is wrong with that picture? Like, I feel like, most games when they shoot updates out, they refine the previous, like, how much space is needed and then add a little bit to it. Like, they're not like just constantly adding. It's like Activision was just like, fuck that, let's just keep adding it onto the end. And I'm like, how?
They just don't have a file compressor over there. They don't know what that is.
Like,
They don't know how to compress any files. It's impossible.
There
it's
are
the same
much
thing as I think it was Titanfall 1 or 2, where the reason the game was so big is because they refused to compress the sound files, so it was like over 100 gigabytes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, there are much more intricate games with larger worlds than Call of Duty Modern Warfare that have much smaller file sizes. Like, I've never seen a game that has had 250 gigabytes of like space needed for it alone.
Well,
yeah.
Like, do you think they're gonna fix it with the new
production director at Infinity Ward? The game's so big just because there's just a ton of content. Just a ton of content.
There's a ton of good reasons to compress the files.
Just like all of the other
Cyberpunk 2077 is, and then we'll talk, Activision.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk.
No. Eric, a ton of content.
Just
the
like
fish
every other
move
Call of
out of
Duty.
your way when you swim by them.
No, Eric. The fish don't even exist in Call of Duty. They're so far out of your way.
Hey,
Exactly.
listen, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of processing power, a lot of storage space to digitally get Ronald Reagan to look that creepy, and for him to digitally hire you to funnel crack into inner city communities.
Oh man. Talking about Call of Duty, they released the teaser trailer for the new Zombies, and I was curious if any of you guys had a chance to look at it. Or
I did watch it actually. Yeah.
What do you guys think? Like, it kind of looks like they're going back to that older style Call of Duty, but keeping the same bit of story in there as well.
So you say that, but then, like, how do you feel about them allowing you to bring in your own loadouts? You don't start with a pistol anymore.
That's fair. I didn't actually know about that. I've only watched the trailer. That's why I was asking.
I'm kind of Call of Duty'd out. I keep saying that, but like this time I'm hoping I don't get the next one just because like I don't know how much time I would actually put into it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if the zombie, like, I don't know. I feel like they almost need to, maybe for if a DLC, remake the maps, like remake the old maps, update everything, but keep the original guns that would have been in those games during their time. I think they'd have a little more draw to it,
Jarrod,
at least for me.
That's even more content. How big do you want this game to be?
I want it to be I want all of my usable space on my Series X to be dedicated to Call of Duty. That's all I want on my Series.
Force you to buy the internal storage card?
Oh, man. I don't know. I just think that I'd buy a remake. Like, even if they released a separate game where it was just Call of Duty Zombies and it just had all the zombies on it, and they had upgraded their maps.
Buy a separate game just for zombies. Don't say that. Don't give them ideas. Don't be a bad consumer.
Jarrod,
just expect them to bundle it like they always have.
Jarrod, you didn't want to buy Black Ops 3 Zombies DLC because it was too expensive, and that's literally what you're talking about, a remaster of the 8 classic maps.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, remake them, like, update the graphics entirely.
That's what they did.
They did not overhaul the game.
You don't even know what you're talking about, but your mouth is flapping right now.
Says you. What are you talking about the storage drives?
I played like 2 days of zombies in that game. I know. I have the most experience in this call.
Did you play 3 hours in the real world's worth of Red Dead Dominoes?
I did. That is your area of expertise, and honestly, you can have it.
I hate myself.
I'm kind of with Eric, though. I don't think I'll get it. I don't know if I'll get the new one.
Especially if, like, I'm trying to get the next-gen console. I don't have the funds to also get fucking Call of Duty at the same time. Like, it's going to be a while till I get some new games.
Here's my thoughts, is like, if I'm going to get the new console, like, it's expensive, I'm going to get games that are going to utilize it to the best of its potential, not Call of Duty. Like, I'm not going to I'm not buying that console to buy Call of Duty. Like, I'd buy it to get Cyberpunk at its best, for, like, it's what it is optimized for. I would totally buy that game. I wouldn't buy a Call of Duty on the new console. Like,
games on Game Pass that we instantly have. So it's like, there's no point to get Call of Duty. We're gonna have EA Play or whatever next month. We're gonna have so much stuff to play on the next gen console that
so many
Call of Duty can
is EA Access turning into EA Play? Is that what it's doing?
It's shutting down. No, they're combining it with EA Play, and then EA Play's partnering with Game Pass.
Oh, so I will no longer have to pay the extra money for EA Play, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but but what you currently play, they're actually Xbox sent me a message is that you get like kind of like their $1 deal initially, where you get like gold gets turned into Game Pass. They're doing the same thing with your current subscription of EA Access.
I'm confused now.
What too?
Like, so you have to pay for EA Access to get their version of Game Pass. You pay it annually, whatever. So because it's combining with Game Pass, all your remaining months get converted into Game Pass months.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Oh, that's nice.
Or
that's
something,
nice,
or maybe only half the month. There was some fine print I didn't read, but they are.
It's all going to be considered one thing now. Like, it's like you can. Yeah. Okay, that's really that's actually kind of appreciated. Like, if they were just going to cut you off, that's kind of, they would have had an uprising, because there's a lot of people that have that EA Access.
Uprising. Woo!
Yeah.
You know, honestly, if there hasn't been an uprising against EA yet, there's not going to be. we have passed.
Well, Jarrod, I'm glad you bring that up, because what has EA done this week? Taking a look. Oh, I wish I had Jarrod's keyboard. I could loudly type.
EA did bad things this week?
Wait.
Did they?
They did.
Wait, Peter.
What did they do?
Type your thing. I'll keep typing until you're done.
Give me that juicy,
I got it, Jarrod. Thanks for your typing. In a kids magazine, they were advertising and promoting kids to buy FIFA points to open packs. Just straight out advertising gambling to kids. Not even no shame, no nothing.
Oh boy.
Just they're literally like, start playing FIFA, buy points and open packs, build your dream team. Do it, kids.
Take your parents' credit cards.
Like obviously that's their business plan, but like they're not even trying to sugarcoat it at this point. It's literally just, hey kids, here's a casino you can pay $80 for. Enjoy.
It's fucked up, dude.
It just blows my mind that they're like, despite everything, they're still doing it. They're still just shameless.
That's fucked up, dude.
Why?
Wasn't someone bringing this before Congress at some points in the past? I feel like I heard something about that.
UK or European Congress.
Yeah, the Americans aren't going to do anything about that.
They'll promote it.
As long as they're getting money.
And then like people dug into this magazine previous years, and they've been naturally doing these type of advertisements for like at least the past 2 FIFA games. But just
I guess that shows. I guess that shows you how little people pay attention to print media nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kids Magazine. Didn't even know that he existed. Not in 2020, at least.
What kind of like when you say Kids Magazine, like what's the magazine actually about?
I'll look into it, but that's just kind of what all the titles have been.
Constitutes a kids magazine.
Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
What kids are getting magazines?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I got like video game magazines as a kid, but like I didn't get specifically made magazines for children.
Yeah.
Hello, my children. Here is a magazine just for you.
It's so weird.
But after all the backlash about this ad, then EA took down the ad and apologized. Yeah. We are so sorry, everyone.
Well, because they got caught.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
EA, I wonder if it gets tiring for them having to put on the fake sincerity every time they do something wrong.
It was a toy
Feels
magazine
bad for
in the UK.
I wonder if it feels bad for employees who work there, like genuinely passionate employees, like people who love the video game industry, and every time this happens, they're just like, I need my money. I need this job so bad, but like, what the fuck, dude? I need this job.
You probably lose a lot of your passion for the industry after working for EA after enough time, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go in hopeful, wanting to make good games, and you leave just a shell.
Destroyed.
I wonder how many people actually like go into the video game industry because like, oh boy, I love video games and I'm gonna make video games, and how many people are like, well, this is part of my skill set and I need to pay rent this month, so I guess I'm working on a video game now.
It'd be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not like stats exist for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, how much? I mean, you could say, how much do you care about your job? But you never know if someone would be like, is this a fucking trick by the employers? I love it. I'm passionate.
Is this EA? Is EA hazing me? Is this my performance?
EA hazing.
On the Better Business Bureau, they have a 1 out of 5 rating.
Wow, that's not good.
That's not good at all.
Weren't they
Ubisoft,
rated like
this
worst company in the world or something, or in the US, like a bunch of years in a row?
I think they were actually a couple. I know they got it at least once.
Yeah,
but I think that was like users submitted. It wasn't like employees submitted.
Yeah.
They have quite the campus. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at their campus.
We've seen their campus. I think you've shown it to us before.
Yeah,
Jarrod,
it's pretty fucking insane.
What's with you in this campus, man?
I don't know. It blows me away that companies can have like you look at Google's campus too. Like, you guys have seen the movie The Internship, right? With Owen Wilson and Vince Vaughn.
No,
I've passed by it, but never watched it.
It's not bad. I actually enjoy the movie. It's pretty funny. But they go through the Google campus, and I was like, oh, it's just for the movie. Like, they're just fucking doing this for the movie. And then I looked it up, and their campus is fucked. They have like full out fitness center. They've got nap rooms. They've got a Quidditch, like internal Quidditch tournaments they have. They've got like beach volleyball. They got freaking gaming rooms where you can go game on your like to take breaks. It's mess. And apparently, like EA's campus is kind of similar that way. And I'm just like, to me, it just blows me away that a company would have all that. It just always blows me away.
It's how they draw employees in. Look at all these perks you get.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to have if they had that kind of rating with all those perks, that says a lot about EA as like how they feel when they were actually working for them.
No, that was like from consumers, that rating.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, it's just like, I don't know, there might be good to your employees, but just not great. I mean, they still kind of push out games. It's tough, right? Like it's annoying because there's a lot of companies they oversee that I wish would have more time to work on games, and I feel like they're really put under like a hard deadline, like get your game out now, not instead of like, okay, get your game finished and then we'll review it and then we'll put a date out for it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that's not the two kinds of conversation they have. It's just literally, here's a deadline, get your game out, don't give a shit what it looks like as long as it gets money.
Speaking of that, actually, one thing that was in the news, I think this week, was like CG Project Red's like crunch time that's upcoming. Because Cyberpunk
media ran away with that.
Yeah, Cyberpunk's been delayed like twice now, and now they announced, despite saying previously they wouldn't crunch, that the last month they're gonna have to crunch. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys?
But did you actually read the guys what they said?
Yeah,
like they didn't really say like it's a time crunch. They just said here's like here's the finish line. We gotta like push to get to the finish line.
Well, they said, they used the word crunch. Like we know we said we weren't gonna do this, but we kind of got to crunch.
It depends if there's actual compensation for the overtime work, because from my understanding, a lot of the time the crunch, there is no like extra compensation or whatever. If they're actually being compensated for the extra work and they're like willing to do it, there's like, that's fine. But like, if it's like, hey, we need this done or you might not have a job, then it's like,
yeah, actually, that's another thing. Mandatory crunch was what they said.
You gotta imagine that a company like CD Projekt Red is going to compensate its people. Whenever you hear about like these crunch times and the gaming outlets just running away with it, and some of the like people in the discourse on Twitter.com and all over the place just like crying out about like abuse of their employees and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, but you don't actually know what's going on behind closed doors. You know that they're going to be working overtime to get the game out and finished, but you don't know whether or not that's actually adversely affecting anyone. It happened with Red Dead 2 as well, where they were like, well, we're going to have to start working like extra hours to get the game done. And then it was taken out of context, where it was like a certain number of people had to like put some finishing touches on it, but it wasn't like the entire team was like rushing to finish it.
You need to do like an actual investigation on it, like what happened with BioWare and Anthem, where it like came out that a lot of people were just getting kind of sidelined and cucked the whole way.
So talking about just kind of continuing that conversation, Ubisoft is having some issues with this as well.
They're having a lot of issues
now. They're having a lot of like, they're under allegations. Like they had their executive, a couple of Ubisoft executives resigned for allegations of widespread harassment and abuse. Like there's some pretty big things coming out for a lot of these companies that have been having a hard time producing like high quality games. So
yeah, I'm surprised Watch Dogs Legions is even coming out this year, because Ubisoft is just like been having some problems the past couple of like just this entire year. They've been having some problems with like internal issues, and I think just primarily internal issues.
A lot of the time, I feel like it's good to have these upper level positions assigned to new people, because I feel like you need that fresh set of eyes or that fresh personality, but our different like point of view on the whole aspect. Jack, you are struggling with that.
It's not going away. It won't leave.
You have the beam of God upon you, Jack.
God can get bent. Well, now this doesn't work either because you can't see me.
Put a white screen next to our screen and it'll light up your face.
What?
Like open up another screen that's just white.
Jack's.
I'm on a laptop.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, put it half your screen, move the Discord to half your screen, and then put the white screen on the other half.
That seems like a lot of work just so you could. No, I'd rather have the light shining in my camera.
I'm a bright boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it's going to be good. Like, you need to have. I get that it's not always the executives that are causing it, but it's them who are missing it happening inside their company, right? So they're
always responsible for like.
Well,
I mean, they should be the ones keeping an eye on everything.
these woke cultures don't come out of nowhere, right? Like,
no, and you need someone to like, they don't. It's not like you oversee a company and you don't see any of this happening. Like you see it happening. It's you who addresses it, right? It's not up to the whoever's involved. Yes, you need to deal with that, but it's like you need to make that a statement that this company does not put forth anything we do not put up with any of this. Like, this is not acceptable.
Changes like that need to come from the top down and need to be championed from the top. If you don't see that being visibly led by the top, then it's kind of just all crumbles.
It's so nice that you guys have such optimism that people in the video game industry are going to do something nice like that, whereas historically that has not been the case.
That's how I sleep at night, Jack. I hope
we can dream.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it's just the more popular companies that are more over it, like right now. Like I don't know. I'm kind of with you, Jack. I don't think CD Projekt Red would try to harass their employees just to get a game out. Like, they seem to be a group, like, they wouldn't have delayed multiple times if that's how they were. They would have stuck with the one deadline and been like, "Fuck you guys. You guys are working."
See, for me, it's the fact that they committed to not crunch again. Like, they said, like, this is bad. We don't like this. It's not part of who we are. But then they're being forced to, and I get it, but like, I don't know. We're not there, so we don't know the specifics. But it's to say something and then go back on it. Not a good look.
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I don't know what the alternative is because I don't work in the video game industry. I don't know what it's like. Do you have like your fourth or fifth delay and just hope that it's enough time this time and start, pissing off the people behind the scenes who, need this out for the holiday season?
Well, I assume
it's tough. It's tough, right? Like, it's like... I mean, the crunch, okay, you don't want to do a crunch, and then going back when you were saying we're not doing a crunch is what it is. It's how you go about that, though, right? Like, it depends what they're compensating for people doing that. Like, what are they giving to, like, helping with the employees to do that crunch? Because that's a lot. Like, I mean, again, I don't work in the video game industry, but to be working on a game, they're probably working on that game, like, I'd say over 12 hours a day trying to get that game like polished and set and out by holiday season. So to me, I mean, a crunch isn't horrible because you're producing a product for a deadline, right? Like, that's usually when you have a deadline, it's tough to anticipate everything. Like, they could have a small glitch they didn't see until the very end, and they're like, "Fuck, we need to fix this," and there's a crunch. But it's like, how do they approach their employees and compensate them? I think changes that if it's like a crunch is a bad thing, or if it's like, okay, we just have a crunch because we have to get this out to the public.
I'm seeing now that the studio head Badowski, he says CD Projekt Red's development team will receive 10% of all annual company revenue as an added bonus to the mandatory crunch. This 10% will be divided among CD Projekt Red's dev teams, which makes up a sizable portion of the company's total 1,100 employee headcount. And I think I saw that with that 10%, each employee is expected to get about $50,000 as a bonus. And the average income of some people, I think in Sweden where they live, is $5,000. So, like, they're getting a pretty hefty bonus if that's true.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that it's how you approach it. Like, just saying it's a crunch that's automatically, especially in the gaming industry, is seen as like a bad thing because of the reputation it has with other companies. But it all depends on how you treat your employees in the end through that crunch. Like, are you compensating them? Are you giving them some time off after that just to, like, because like that's draining. Like, you can see it in a game company. I mean, very evident in the last few years where they've released games and they've just been like crap because they're just constantly trying to push out games, right? And it's your team loses inspiration. They lose the energy to actually put in a good job. And it's not really their fault. Everyone burns out, right? Like, it happens. So I feel like they need to maybe take that in consideration, especially when, I don't know, how long has did they ever mention how long 2077 has been in production for?
I think just after The Witcher 3, I want to say.
They teased it long before The Witcher 3 came out, I think. Like, it's been expected for close to a decade, I'm pretty sure.
So they definitely take their time to make their games. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like as long as they I stick by it. If they compensate their employees well, like that seems like a pretty good compensation, and they're treating them well, not just being like, oh, we're gonna treat you like shit, but we'll give you money in the end. Then I think it's okay that there's a crunch. I'm not too torn up about it. I just want to make sure that it's not, I don't want people feeling like shit or having that burnout, because it sucks when you're burnt out like that, and it definitely can happen.
So I just ran the math on it, based on what Erik said. So CD Projekt Red is based in Poland. So if they get 50,000 Polish dollars, the zloty is how you pronounce that. Zloty is what their currency is called. I don't know. I thought they were in the European Union, so I thought they used the euro, but apparently not. So 50,000 of those Polish things would work out to be about 13,000 USD, which is a pretty good bonus.
That's still, I was gonna say that's still a good bonus on a game.
Yeah,
especially for every employee. Like, that's a lot of employees, and if their dev team is majority of those employees, that's a lot of money they're giving back to their employees as like a total.
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming that I did my math correctly, and the guy who was talking about that hadn't already converted it to USD. Because if every employee is getting $50,000, that's a big payday.
Yeah, that's a major payday.
But 13,000 seems a lot more like understandable to me, and it seems like adequate compensation, maybe even better than what I would expect for doing that kind of work. So.
Yeah, that's what I said. The media really ran with it. I feel like, as media does, right? Like, it takes anything and runs with it immediately. Doesn't matter. It's click. That's how they get their money, is clicks.
It's always hilarious to me when the gaming gaming journalism websites like are ready to crucify anyone who does anything bad in the video game industry, and it's like, have you guys taken a look at like what you do for a living recently? Like, have you seen what so this is like Polygon and Kotaku and GameSpot and IGN and all these big guys have been involved in, and it's like, you're gonna cast the first stone right now. But
I just like one of the better ones I found recently for like reliability, just on like, not just immediately taking a title and being like, this is what it is, has been the PC Gamer, because I use it a lot for like my PC gaming parts, because I'll do reviews on like graphics cards and processors and shit like that. They usually actually they don't try to just highlight the immediate horrible thing. They just kind of like they'll do their title, but if you read through it, they'll have like actual like nice breakdown. They don't just immediately be like for this crunch one in particular. That's why I said it was amazing what media did to it. They didn't do what like IGN did with it, where they immediately were just like, time crunch, CD Projekt Red's like the worst company in the world.
They lied.
They like actually had it, so it was like, oh no, like they've established that there's a time crunch as the deadline approaches. And I don't think they mentioned the compensation, but I don't think that came out till after the initial actual like release that there is a time crunch. So but the point of view was never pinning CD Projekt Red as a villain. Like when I was reading it, it never came into my brain that they were the villain. Whereas as soon as I read IGN's article, I was like, man, CD Projekt Red's a bunch of pieces of shit. Like, it made me want to hate them.
What a bunch of jerks.
Yeah, I think part of that is trying to weaponize like the viewer base to gain those clicks, because like proper working standards in the video game industry have been a hot topic lately, because the video game industry is notoriously low on unions, and like there's not really any like standardized workplace practices that's are put in place. So a lot of, I think, people see that there's a lot of abuse of power.
It's like the Wild West
towards towards lower ranking employees. I mean, I think there's a few other industries that are kind of going through that. I think like animation in the US and stuff like that is having similar problems. But I definitely think journalisms are trying to really weaponize like people's opinions of that to like try and gain those clicks as opposed to actually like be a force for change, which I think is unfortunate because absolutely there could be better like workplace practices in the video game industry. Again, I don't work in the video game industry, so I don't know, but you got to imagine that from what you've heard, it's like we could be doing some things a little bit better, couldn't we?
Yeah. No, exactly.
It's just it's way easier to start a wildfire online to get all those clicks compared to
to actually like make a difference.
Yeah.
Well, and it's not like a crunch is never heard of. Like a lot of look at we'll just use an immediate example is the Calgary Ring Road. Like they had a deadline to get the southwest end of it done. And, you know, they had to do they were working fucking stupid hours. I have a buddy who's working down that was working for one of the companies working down south on the Ring Road. And even he was saying he was working ridiculous hours. So, I mean, it's like they take it and they're immediately like, oh, this company's in a crunch, this unheard of thing, except for in the gaming industry. It's like, no, like it's just like, how are you treating your employees? Are you treating them good through the crunch? Good. That's what matters.
I will say, though, anybody who's working construction, who's done civil construction before, you're making good money when you're working those long hours.
Yes.
And you're most likely unionized. So,
no, it's true. It's true. And that's kind of where I was like, yeah, as long as you're treating your employees well, I don't think it's not a huge deal to have a crunch. It just means that, you know.
I'll say this. I've never met a construction worker who complained about working construction, except for me, because I hated that fucking job.
No, Graydon also complained about it when he worked construction.
Yeah, but Graydon's a whiny little bitch. And he wasn't working civil construction. He was...
That's true. He was drywall.
Yeah.
Everyone, and that's like... That's funny about it. That's like the one
he
form
sends
of
a Snapchat at 7 a.m, like being a whiny little bitch.
I didn't see that. Hold on.
I wish I could. I looked at that Snapchat too, Jack, and I was like, I wish I could get paid not to do anything.
Should I share it with the? Here, let's watch together.
No, you can't share it. But
pretty soon we'll actually be able to talk about Graydon's job since he's not going to be working there anymore. We won't have to be secretive.
Yeah. Well, in all fairness, it's like it didn't have to be secretive. It was just I understand where he was going from. Like he was worried if they saw anything from our stuff. Like, I feel like, we've talked about what area he worked in. We just didn't tell him what company he's worked in. I guess it's kind of like most of us. We've all kind of let free what we do, but we've never really let free who we do it with.
You know, actually, that's a good point because some of the other employees in Graydon's line of work are unionized. Graydon wasn't, and he's going through a lot of issues right now with the company he was with, where even though he's like made a lot of sacrifices for them, i.e. like trying to be a model employee by not like putting them through any awkward places while we're doing live connection, and never doing any drugs in case he gets drug tested, and just really being salt of the earth, a model employee that anyone would want to have. After ownership changed, it's just like, no, fuck you. You either make minimum wage or you fucking jump ship.
Yeah.
That kind of ties into what we were talking about, I think.
Scary world out there, man.
Always know what your labor is worth, kids.
And yeah. Yeah, no, it's been poor Graydon.
Yeah.
He's whiny, but poor Graydon.
The words out of my mouth.
Poor little bitch, Graydon.
Yeah. Whiny little bitch.
I hope he's watching right now.
Hey, little bitch.
Just rename him in the Discord.
That's going to be the title of the podcast. Graydon the little bitch. LC podcast number 65.
You'll never guess who is the little bitch.
Labor disputes in communism. Also, Graydon's a bitch.
More important.
Oh, man. Just because we're coming close to the end here, aren't we, Peter?
Got another like 10 minutes.
I just was going by this. It wasn't a topic I was planning on talking about, but apparently, Nexus mods, like they do a lot of modding. They'll do like third-party modding for a lot of different games. They've outright banned any U.S. political mods. They had an influx of mods that were coming through that were like Republican mods or Democratic mods, and they were hating on the other side. And apparently they were just like, fuck this. They just like shut it down. They're like, we are not associated with this.
I don't blame them. I would want to wipe my hands clean of that too.
Like, well, they had one in the Fallout one where they were like, they had one that was Synth Lives Matter, and they had Blue Lives Matter as well as a mod for Fallout, and I'm like, ooh, yeah. Ooh.
What goes through someone's mind that, like, yes, this is an adequate usage of my time to make this dumb thing?
There are some
goes through their
bad people. There are some bad people in this world that it's just like it's horrible. It's, yeah. I'm very happy that Nexus did that, because Nexus has been known for being like very flexible. They do it like a lot, like Fallout. I know Bethesda they let modders go, but it's only mods they approve on their games. Whereas like Nexus is allowing things like, for example, a couple modders are using them to make new Fallout games entirely using the engine of Fallout 4. So like they have Fallout 4 Miami has been released, I believe, as a mod on Nexus, and it's like a fully new game, all new voice acting. At that point, I don't know why you don't just create a Fallout-esque game, but create an indie game that does better. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be a better use of your time.
Indie game.
But Nexus mod also allows you to get compensated. Like Bethesda, you can't make money by releasing mods on Bethesda, but on Nexus mods, you can have people pay for your mods. But still, like they've definitely been known to be like, we're just gonna kind of let stuff happen. But I'm glad with this, they were like, okay, you guys have crossed the line with it. But
I think for the indie game thing, I don't think they legally can do that, just because like they're using the source code and like code from Bethesda, so that
that's fair. But I'm just thinking, like, if you're that good at creating stuff, you could create your own source code, and you could easily
do what Obsidian did, use like the Unreal Engine or some shit, which is like, I think for the most part, like you have to pay for the license, I think, but no, it's easy to use compared to fucking Bethesda's broken ass fucking engine.
Yeah, well, their old engine. They now have a new engine that they announced after being acquired by Microsoft. Yeah,
thank God.
Microsoft actually confirmed that, Peter, that they have their new engine.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. Is it a new engine or is it an upgraded engine?
No,
if it's upgraded.
Microsoft said they're outright. They were like, it's a new engine for these games going forward. They had a big thing in. They had a big thing in. I believe Microsoft. Like I wouldn't believe Bethesda, but I believe Microsoft.
Is it my boy Phil that said it?
I'd have to look.
My boy Phil. Then
it was on the.
No way, it's wrong.
Yeah, it was on one of the guys posted the article on one of the Fallout pages, because that was like a big dispute. After that was like, what's going to happen with the engine? Are they finally going to update it? And a guy actually posted the article. I could try to find it on Facebook, but apparently it is a brand new engine. Like it's completely new from their old one.
Oh, we have some feedback from a viewer.
Do we?
Jesus. Does this guy ever stop talking about Fallout?
Who said that?
Was it little bitch boy Graydon?
One lovely little lad.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Hey, a little bitch.
He didn't mention anything when we called him a little bitch for 3 minutes straight. No. But as soon as Jarrod starts talking about Fallout,
you know what the thing is like, now I'm the new Matt for this fucking group. Matt's gone, so he can't. There's no longer. Oh, Matt just talks about Pokemon. It's now Jarrod just talks about Fallout.
It's now the Fallout gun.
Yeah. It looks like the 10mm pistol.
Man, what's Graham? I wonder what Matt's going to do whenever like a new Pokemon DLC is released, because he can't go to Peter's house to stream it, or
I'm locking my doors on that day.
Pierre, you weren't there for the Call of Cthulhu stream, but it was really funny. Like we, I don't want to ruin it.
It'll work.
Just watch it. I don't want to ruin it. It's better if you watch it.
Yeah.
I take back my
Your statement.
comment, my contribution. Yep.
I heard many things happened. I gotta put some time aside and give it a watch.
I don't know why I bother reading the book anymore. Honestly, I don't know why I bother trying to follow the storyline that Chaosium has laid out for us.
It was like 10:30 on that night, and I was like, wow, the guys are still streaming. That's later than they usually do. So I tuned in for like 15 seconds, and all I saw was Jack just rubbing his head and Jared's asking to like scour the city for clothes or something. I was like, business as usual, I see.
Sounds good.
The entire session took place in one building because they set it on fire.
No! Oh, what's with you guys and fire?
No. Evan set it on fire. No one else wanted to. Evan wanted to set the building on fire. It was his intimidation technique.
That's what they wanted to do like a session or two ago, wasn't it? Didn't they talk about like...
Evan's been dying to set a building on fire, and he finally did it.
I remember because Jack was like, it's New York, guys. You can't just... I don't know if you want to just light a building on fire casually.
Well, see, Jack neglected to tell Evan that warning this time. He left it up to us to do it, and Evan lit the whole building on fire.
Wow. Well, if you guys want to watch more of that, check it out bi-weekly live on Thursdays. It's an adventure and a half.
Yes.
It's been a good time.
Oh, shit.
It's been a lot of fun.
This Thursday, we got our game. We're streaming a game.
Video game.
Oh my god,
Have we decided what we're doing?
Video games?
We have not decided what we're doing yet. Well,
we're probably going to do Among Us, I imagine. That's what we're
most likely
about.
I think we're trying to get like a full team, a full party. What is happening with Peter? Why does Peter do weird things?
I'm Green Man in Among Us. See, I got the hood and I got the glasses. And now I just gotta run around doing tasks.
Green acting pretty sus, not gonna lie.
Green instant.
It's always Tom Cruise.
I was in Med Bay.
You were in Med Bay the time you were guilty.
I'm gonna ban lovely little lad. He said play Minecraft.
Shut up, little bitch.
Tell him he needs to get to work. Tell him to find something to work. Something to do. We don't like employees that just sit around.
We'll just turn every podcast into a roast of a different live connection member.
No, now it's just Greg.
Sweep the parking area.
Well.
Oh, man.
We're out of time, guys.
We're out of time.
Just no!
Like sadly, the grade and memes will have to wait till next Sunday.
It's unfortunate.
Well, if you guys enjoy, feel free to slap that like button. Maybe even hit subscribe if you're feeling like it. As all the popular YouTubes say, it's free. I hate it when they say that. It angers me.
But it's free.
You want to do the outro, Jarrod? Is that what you want? Is that?
I just thought I'd if you like to see Peter get mad, watch any video where Peter and I are in the video.
Watch any video with Peter.
That's true.
I don't get mad all the time.
Then you'll be mad.
You get mad all the time.
I could. I'm going to shut my mouth.
I guarantee at least one person will get mad at some point.
That's an LC guarantee.
Mad. No, you're Chilluminati.
I wish.
All right, guys. Catch us live on Sundays and Thursdays. Thanks for watching, and have a good rest of your day.
Bye.
Boom.